The Summer Game Fest has restored some hope for me in regards to the future of gaming. Xbox had a successful showcase themselves. They announced a total of 27 games. Bethesda also gave a 45-minute in-depth presentation showing off more about Starfield. I'm very excited to check out Starfield in just a couple of months, but I am also excited for two other games. Both of those games are coming from Ubisoft. Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Mirage are the other games that I am excited to check out eventually. Outlaws is going to be an open-world Star Wars game, the first one of its kind. Assassin's Creed Mirage looks to offer another great story, but the game also looks to go back to its roots and implement the original style of the franchise. Those elements and mechanics are the reason why the franchise is still around today, despite a heavy focus on open-world games over the past 3 games. I think it's a good idea for Ubisoft to try their hands at a new product like Outlaws, all while keeping up with one of their most popular and successful franchises in Assassin's Creed. So let's take a look at both of these games, and I'll explain why I think Ubisoft's future looks bright with these two games. Let's start by taking a look at Outlaws. There were rumors circulating about Ubisoft working on an open-world Star Wars game for quite some time well before this reveal, but man, when they revealed the first trailer and the first gameplay walkthrough, I must say the game looks pretty damn good. It looks like it's in good shape. The game is slated for release sometime in 2024. I think it's a good sign that it looks this good right now, so that means that they can continue to polish up the game between now and whenever that specific 2024 release date is. So, what's this game about? Well, it's not about Jedi, Sith, or the Force. It's not even about the Rebels or the Clone Troopers. It's a game about scoundrels. The game is designed to bring you into the criminal underworld out in the Outer Rim. The game takes place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, so the game will take place amidst the Galactic Civil War. Players will assume the control of Kay Vess. She's a scoundrel trying to survive in the galactic underworld, and the main storyline is focused around Kay trying to pull off one of the biggest heists in the Outer Rim. However, it won't be an easy feat to accomplish. Kay will have to deal with the Empire, the syndicates, and elements of her past. Kay is looking to use these credits from the heist to help herself start a new life. That's basically the gist of what we know so far about her and the main storyline. The gameplay we ended up seeing indicated that Kay has a bounty on her head and that she's sneaking around some base crawling with members of the Pike Syndicate and the Hutts. Gameplay itself looked pretty cool. You know, lightsabers are fun and so is the Force, but I'll admit I don't mind some blaster fights sometimes either. The blaster effects look cool, player movement also looked pretty nice, stealth appears to be an option in the game as well as the gameplay starts with Kay sneaking around. My favorite part of the gameplay was seeing Kate's speeder and her ship. I mean, if you're going to do an open-world Star Wars game, then the galaxy has to be accessible, right? Planets, space combat using your ship, speeders and other land vehicles. We saw some space combat and some other flying elements like going into hyperspace and heading to another planet. Being able to control land vehicles, in my opinion, is huge because modes of transportation actually help keep players from constantly fast traveling, which in turn helps players do more exploring and actually get to check out all the little details throughout the world, or in this case, hopefully planets. Ubisoft's world building is great in almost every one of their games, and knowing them, I'm sure the planets you will visit will be large and full of detail. I also love the fact that you could fire your blaster while driving the speeder. We even saw some dialogue options during a big conversation at one point in the video. And it appears that Ubisoft is trying to give this game a Rockstar vibe. I noticed some GTA and Red Dead elements. There's a reputation system. It looks like your reputation with different gangs will be affected by your decisions and encounters with them. I almost jumped out of my seat when I saw the wanted image flash on the screen. This means the Empire is looking for you. If this system is similar to GTA, then it's going to be awesome. And this is the kind of stuff I want to see in any open world game, whether it's Star Wars or not. I want to feel the impact or the consequences of my actions. I want to be able to have a say in what kind of relationship I have with certain groups of people. I like being presented with options when it comes to making decisions about dialogue and other choices in the game that could affect the way the story goes. And it appears Kay won't be going at it alone. Kay has a fuzzy little companion named Nix. He is quite useful too. He can create distractions, push buttons, pick up things, and even attack enemies. I guess you could say he's this game's version of BD1. And it wouldn't be a Star Wars story if there wasn't some kind of droid. ND5 is a former separatist commando droid. A guy named Jalen has the droid help you for this supposed heist job. So far, he looks pretty cool. So I think this was a strong showing for the game. I like the fact that they released a trailer one day and then the next day they dropped some gameplay. They showed quite a bit, even if it was in sample sizes. And the gameplay, like I said, looks pretty damn good for this being the first time we're seeing it. I think this game has the potential to be very good, and I look forward to learning more about this game as we inch closer to 2024. I'm also excited to see the latest entry in the Assassin's Creed franchise. Ubisoft has already come out and stated that Mirage will bring the franchise back to its roots. What are those roots exactly? Stealth-focused gameplay. We won't see the big battles from Odyssey or the raids by boat like in Valhalla. In this game, it's all about sneaking around and using the hidden blade, daggers, smoke bombs, blow darts, throwing knives, and whatnot. Ubisoft also stated that direct combat should be used as a last-ditch effort. The story for this game looks pretty good as well. The game takes place in 9th century Baghdad and follows Basim, whom we met in Valhalla. It's defined as a tragic coming-of-age story. We will see Basim transition from a street thief to a deadly assassin. The story trailer shows him struggling with nightmarish visions as well. This is about it in terms of what we know about the story right now. We seem to know more about the world and the gameplay itself. So the world's going to be much smaller. The game is basically going to take place in the city of Baghdad and some of the outskirts surrounding the city. It's been a while since Assassin's Creed was a game of small size like this. The last 3 games were enormous open worlds. Downsizing is not a bad idea, as the developers now have the chance to add even more details in this smaller sandbox. This could offer the developers a chance to make more buildings and other areas in the city more accessible. I hate games that, they have these cities and you can never check out buildings or check out monuments and stuff like that. In a game that's going to have climbing and parkour, I would like to see us be able to get into more vantage points and stuff, and the odds are we will, because we've seen it before in this entire series. Player movement, mechanics, and even the UI on the screen is pretty similar to the last 3 games, and I never really had a problem with that stuff. If there's anything I think all Assassin's Creed fans can or should admit, is that the open world games featured some good player movement in combat, parkour, and climbing. The biggest thing about this game is that you're going to have to slow down and think. You aren't fighting big battles. The game isn't designed for you to have multiple swords and hammers to use against waves of enemies. But that doesn't mean the game won't be fun. There are many methods of murder in this game. Aerial assassinations are present, of course. You'll have handy tools to use, like I mentioned earlier, a couple of examples again. Throwing knives, darts. There's even a new feature called the Assassin's Focus. It's an ability that allows you to quickly mark and kill several targets in a row. We saw the ability in use during the gameplay walkthrough and it looked awesome. Weapons and tools can be upgraded through a skill tree, and once again players will have a very helpful eye in the sky. Basim has a bird friend that can fly over areas to scout ahead and find enemies and other paths that you could take in the environment to help you sneak around and find your targets. Being an assassin is of course fun, but the parkour elements in the franchise are just as fun to experience. Classic parkour moves that can be done include the beam hop, corner swing, rope lift, and of course we can't forget the signature eagle dive. Tall poles will be a new addition to the parkour list, as Basim will be able to ride these poles across gaps much wider than he could jump. And a few other quick tidbits of information for you. The main storyline is expected to last 15 to 20 hours, and the game will be coming out on October 12th. I am a fan of both of these games so far. I can't wait to hear and see more as we inch closer to the release dates. I was very impressed by what I saw. Those trailers and gameplay walkthroughs looked very good. I am confident that Ubisoft can make a good open world experience in the Star Wars universe. I already love the GTA/Red Dead elements that they are showing off, and Assassin's Creed Mirage also looks pretty good. I think the game will attract most, if not all, of the fans of the series. I know a lot of people did not prefer the open world RPG style of the last couple of games. Going back to the franchise's roots at this point is a very good idea. Well, let me know what you think about these 2 games in the comments, like the video and subscribe for more. I really do appreciate whatever support you could give. You could also find me on Twitter and TikTok at analyzethis_YT. Thanks for checking out the video.